What's good? What's good? YouTube family, Instagram family. What's good? What's up, Jory? What's up, Yeti? Man, Josh, what it do? That Chica was good. I'm on YouTube and Instagram. I ain't gonna be on here long, man. I'm tired of shit. But okay, that's what's up. But earlier today, I was I was riding and heard a song, and I meant to actually follow up on it, but my day was so hectic, and I was really supposed to chill today and do nothing. But my nephew called me and he needed an order for his event. So that took up the majority of my day. Um, so I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. But I heard this song, right? And it triggered a memory. And the memory was it used to be this show. I used to watch it when I was little called Fantasy Island, right? And I wanted to watch a couple episodes, but for what I remember, like basically you flew to this island and you got to live out a fantasy, right? But it's crazy because what you'll find, or I know from what I remember from that show, like for every action, there's a reaction, right? And so you could live out your fantasy, but it was always some other shit that wasn't in your fantasy that happened, right? And you had to kind of figure shit out, right? And I thought about that. I said, most people live in a fantasy, right? Live in a fantasy. You come up with an idea in your head of what you want or what you expect, right, to happen for you. And that's cool to have that. Don't get me wrong. But the problem comes with here's where the problem comes in with that, or the challenge, I should say. If I meet someone and I have an expectation of how I want that relationship to be, whether it's platonic, whether it's business, whether it's whatever the expectation is, right? The problem with that fantasy is that you can't factor in what the other person is going to say or do. And so you have an expectation of them to meet your fantasy. You have an expectation of them to help bring your vision was good, help bring your vision to life, right? And so that it's the expectation that hurts, or it's the expectation that's what does damage to the relationship. or to the connection, or you know what I'm saying? And it's not really the person. The person is the person. Like I am who I am. Like I'm a change, but I ain't gonna change. Like I'm a I'm a upgrade some things, right? I'm gonna tweak some things, but for the most part, I am who I am. So like to expect me to be a certain way strictly for you or for your fantasy, it's a stretch. But what happens is people really they bank on that. They bank on people being, saying, and doing what they need them to do in order for them to experience their fantasy, right? And I'm gonna tell y'all the song I was listening to. Um, um it was Adam Lives in Theory, right? And um when she said fantasy is what people want, but reality is what people need. And so, what's up, Monarch? What's up, Dave? And so, what happens is we have this fantasy of what we want. We have a fantasy of what we want someone else to be in our lives, right? But the reality, but you need the reality. You feel what I'm saying? What's the reality, though? The reality is if you tell somebody you love them, right, you can't not love them when they don't do everything that you need them to do. See, true love, true admiration, true honor, whatever you want to, however you want to couch it, is when you can love someone when they ain't doing the shit you want them to do. When you love someone when they are not um creating your fantasy. Feel what I'm saying? The things that you want them to do or need them to do or desire for them to do and they don't do it, or they don't do it when you want it, or they don't do it how you want them to do it, or they don't do it as long as you want them to do it, whatever the case may be. Is that do you still love them? You see what I'm saying? Like you can't pick and choose. Well, you can. Let me not say that. You can do what you want, right? But the reality is, you know, my fantasy world is one thing, but the reality is she not gonna do everything I want her to do or how I want her to do it. That's the reality. And vice versa. Cause I ain't get ready to do everything that she want me to do or how she want me to do it, and I'm not doing all that, you know. And so just be mindful of that, y'all. Be mindful of um, being in the moment, being present, right? And you'll find that if you if you limit your expectations, you actually limit your letdown. You feel what I'm saying? Like you'll limit your letdowns because you limit your expectations of what you want somebody to do. Because it's the expectations. It ain't the person that really that really hurts you a lot of times. And I'm talking about in general. I ain't talking about no malicious shit. I'm talking about just a person just being who they are. You know what I'm saying? A person, um, like you don't know what. I'll just give you some random shit. Like she may ask me to, hey, can you and you take this outside, and I get a phone call, somebody needs something real done, somebody needs some work done or whatever. I got some other shit going on. I take a phone call. I got to go check on this. I got to run outside, do that. So I do the other shit first, right? And her expectations didn't get met. And so now she's mad or angry, but she doesn't understand, or she didn't get what the other things that I had on. So my intent wasn't not to take it. It's just I'm a full-time employee for one company. Um, and then for my other two businesses, I'm self-employed. So I can get three different calls from three different things, right? In a matter of minutes. And shit can go haywire, and I'm managing and doing this and doing that. And I forget, not intentionally. You feel what I'm saying? What's up, Lee? What's up, nephew? But I'm not maliciously trying to hurt you. I just didn't get the trash again. You know what I'm saying? But because your expectation was, well, you said you ain't want me to take the trash out, and then I asked you to take the trash out, then you don't take the trash out. Now I'm upset. But that's the expectation. You feel what I'm saying? That's the reality. It wasn't that I just got up and said, fuck that trash. I'm not taking the trash out. I'm purposely not taking the trash out simply because you asked me. Like it wasn't personal. You know what I'm saying? But the expectations, when you put those expectations on people, um, and I don't want to say not being considerate, but to a degree, you can say is one before you get upset, maybe you say, hey, um, you know, I don't know if you remember. I know you got a lot going on, whatever the case may be, but just wanted to let you know, hey, you still didn't take the trash out instead of getting, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm learning more and more every day of how to move when it comes to relationships. Um, I always tell y'all when we talk about garden gangsters, right? Keep it G and grow something, right? Well, garden gangsters ain't just about growing food. It's also about growing relationships, right? It's also about growing your bank account. You feel what I'm saying? It's also about growing your soul, growing your purpose, growing your destiny. So that keep it G, you know, and grow something. Sometimes you gotta know when to put light on something. Even with our plants, sometimes you gotta move the plants. Hey man, it's getting too much sun or it need more shade. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes you might need to water some more. You need to pay a little more attention to this every day and not every week. You gotta adjust your schedule and your maintenance in your life. You feel what I'm saying? As it relates to your relationship, as it relates to your finances, as it relates to your mindset, as it relates to your mental health, you may have to adjust when, how, and who you're using in this area to make the proper adjustments. But a lot of times we winging it, right? We winging the shit out of it, and that's cool because I'm king of winging the shit. Trying to figure it out on the move, on the go. You know what I mean? But sometimes you gotta sit down and you gotta take some time. Like I told my supervisor yesterday, he come back from he was walking. We was walking back to the bus, put them kids on the bus. I told him, I said, bro, don't call me Saturday. I'm not going to answer the phone. I don't care what going on. I don't care. I don't care. Like, I need a break from this. I've been constantly going, right? And so I basically told him, I said, man, look, maybe Sunday, give me a call. But tomorrow, I ain't taking no calls or text messages from no kids or nothing. Nothing. I needed the day. And I still didn't really get what I needed. I got a break from the mental, logistics of being a mentor slash big brother slash lead mentor slash logistical manager slash printer. I needed a break from all of it. I got a break from about 80% of it today. And so I said, man, I may need to take tomorrow also and part of Monday, right? Because sometimes, man, if you don't take that time, that could be the key to revitalizing your relationship. Your first relationship is actually with yourself. You feel what I'm saying? It ain't with nobody else but you. And if you can't see that and be able to take care of yourself and say, hey, look, this is what I need. And you be the responsible one to take care of it. If you don't have that in your toolbox, you're gonna miss a lot of shit. I don't care how much your spouse love you, your mama, your daddy, brother, sister, cousin, nephew, aunt, uncle, your children, whatever, your supervisors, co-workers, whatever, work wives, work husband. It ain't nobody else's responsibility for your happiness and your maintenance but you. Because again, Fantasy Island will have you believe that somebody else is responsible for your happiness, right? I'm thirsty, y'all, so I don't like drinking a lot of bottled water. And then I made a smoothie, but it wasn't cold enough. Like, even though I used some frozen fruit. So I had to put that joint in the refrigerator, so I'm still thirsty as fuck. So eat my little tangerines and shit. Monarch, yeah, on Instagram. On Instagram, YouTube, Monarch said, looking outside yourself is crazy. Then you will never find it. And most people do. They look, they some people, and when I say look outside, like some people look for their pastor, look for their church, look for their religion, look for God, the intercessory prayer and all this. Listen, I'm not knocking none of that. Like, do you? But at the end of the day, you'll end up waiting for everybody else to show up. Or you won't be satisfied how they show up. And so you won't that'll be a problem or issue for you, right? I knew you was gonna say that, Monarch, talking about just like they waiting on Jesus. Hey, listen. At a certain point in my life, waiting on Jesus was something I needed. Then I grew up. So at some point, everybody has to, you're supposed to grow and elevate in knowledge and wisdom and thinking and understanding for your purpose, you know. Because I tell y'all all the time, I say this, or I get this analogy all the time. Everybody's truth ain't your truth. And so the wisdom of a person that lives on a beachfront and the wisdom of the person that lives in the mountains are two separate truths. And probably 75% of the truth of the man that lives by the seashore, the man in the woods that lives in the woods and the mountains can't use that information. Although it's true, it ain't true for me because I live in the woods. I don't have the luxury of living, on the water, or not even. I won't even say the luxury. I don't have that same element, so I don't have to prepare for certain things like I gotta prepare up here in these mountains. The animals are different. The weather is different. The terrain is different. You feel what I'm saying? And so your truth ain't my truth. There are some common things, yeah, that can hold true to both scenarios, but the wisdom that comes with it is different. Absolutely. Monarch said on Instagram, what's up, man? Monarch said on Instagram, even Jesus went into the wilderness to find himself. Actually, well, I don't want, I'll be tripping. I told you I work for a Muslim organization. They don't like to say piggyback because of the pork. It's crazy. Let me elaborate on her point. Not only did Jesus go in the wilderness to find himself, um, he also did it after every miracle that he performed. He would slip away go up into the mountains. He would get away from the people, right? And that's what I really need to do that. That was part of what I was supposed to do today, is just get away. I really couldn't, because I had, like I said, had to help my nephew with cookout he was having for the people. And so I got away from most things, but not all things. But every time you gotta recharge, and you can't expect your fantasy to be upheld by everybody else around you. You feel what I'm saying? Devin on YouTube said, facts. A man needs to take care of his mental health from time to time from the world. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it ain't got to be, when you say mental health, people always think that it's something wrong. Like, people think that, you got some challenges or it's mental health is also just not thinking for a while. You know what I'm saying? Not being in survival mode, not being in warrior mode, not being in protection mode, not being in provider mode. Like, sometimes you just don't want to be in no mode. You don't want to do shit. Well, let me just speak for me. There's times I don't want to think for nothing. I don't want to have to figure out nothing. None of that. Trying to remember dates and shit, things you gotta pay, things you gotta do, things you gotta address. That is a mental. That is a mental. What I want to say. That is mentally challenging to constantly be in that mode and not having to find rest, not having to just not do that for a while. You know what I mean? So even with this soul talk, trying to do this, being the pressure of being consistent and coming on live, right? And being able to, stay on here or whatever, present, what have you. Like that's a mentally challenging, right? Um, and so um having to do that is tough, right? Even like I don't have the time to change this. Y'all hear my ceiling fan. Ceiling fan probably older than half of y'all on some real shit. So having the chance to change that, just little mental shit like that, right? You know, let me see. Hold on, we got a comment on YouTube. How you doing? I hope. Well, would you have had me on to speak with you for a minute? Yeah, you can come up on you can come up on YouTube, or you can come over. I'm on Instagram on Soul Talk Universe if you want to come over there, or you have to text me. Let me know when you text me. I can send you the link to come up on YouTube. Either one, you can. It's up to you. I'm on Soul Talk Universe on Instagram. If you want to flop over, I'm on Instagram right now, so you can come over here and send a request to come up, or you can send me the. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I just know it's Night. Oh, Night of Honor. Told you I'm tired. I'm tired. Night of Honor on YouTube. Who want to come up and chat for a minute? So let me know what you want to do, brother. If you or sister, I don't know if it's a brother or sister. Night of Honor. Um, you can let me know if you want text so I can check it and send you the link to come up on YouTube, or you can go on Instagram and simply just my Instagram page now is public, so you don't even gotta be a subscriber. You can come over here, send a request, and come up. Either or, it's cool. But other than that, man, what's up with y'all? How you living? How is your soul? While we wait to see what the Night of Honor gonna do, which what platform they gonna on. How's your soul, man? Where y'all tapping in from? I got 3 people on YouTube. I got 8 people on Instagram. How is your soul? What y'all got going on? What's going on in your fantasy world? Let me say that. Don't everybody say nothing at once. Y'all know, then here go the other thing, y'all. Now, if y'all ass ain't interactive today, this shit gonna be real short. Told y'all, man, I'm tired anyway. Um, so I'm trying to hang on, man. Say something, man. Okay, Monica, here we go. Learning to find peace with the loss of my best friend. That's what's up. Um, Dave Gold Leaf Coffee said, "Gotta get my garden together. Start Monday. Absolutely, I gotta get my shit together too. I got some stuff I need to get in the ground. I need to repot. And that was one of the things I wanted to do today as well. Um, so yeah, I definitely feel you on the garden piece for sure. Okay, Night you text me, so you gonna be on YouTube. All right, here we go. Let me see. Okay, brother Mike. Hold on, y'all. Let me get him. Let me send you. I'm about to text you back, good brother. Hold on a second. So you meditating on the tree lately and keeping my energy balanced. That's what's up. That's what's up, nephew. All right, brother Mike. I just text you back. You should be able to click on that link, and that should take you to be able to come up on YouTube. But yeah, I was talking about the garden piece. I definitely gotta get back. You said I'm just leaving Airbnb in Florida. In the backyard was heaven. It had coconut, avocado, lime, mango tree in the back. That's what's up. All right, Instagram. We got brother Michael coming up on YouTube. Hold on. All right, brother Michael.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much, man. We've actually talked one time before. I don't know if you remember or
Okay.
not, but
Yeah, I
we was
do.
having a conversation. We was talking about ants. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you in Colorado, right?
No, West Virginia.
West Virginia. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
I hope you're doing well.
Oh man. Hey man, anything on this side of the dirt is a plus.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. I mean, you know, I uh, I wouldn't call myself religious because that's like a man-made thing, but
Mhm.
I do believe in Jesus, and I know that. Oh man, that sucks. I just spilt my bowl and all my reefer fell out. Anyway, uh, I do believe in Jesus, and I know that you know the times that we're living in right now. I heard you talking about like the mental fatigue aspect of things, you know,
Mhm.
and I'm sure that a lot of people are having mental fatigue. Myself, even, I find
Mhm.
myself being mentally exhausted, and that can be pretty severe if you don't come out of it.
Yep. Yep. Yes, sir. For sure.
I I know that you know I just wish you well, brother. I really do. I hope that you know I don't know if you believe in Jesus or not, and for what it's worth to you, just know it means a lot to me. That I pray that Jesus will come closer to you in your life, and if you don't believe that, or that's not something that you choose to believe, then oh well, you allowed to believe what you want to believe. I'm not going to force you to do anything because that would be
Mhm.
disingenuous.
Gotcha. Oh man, I appreciate it, man. So again, like I was saying earlier, I'm not sure how soon you came in. Um, but for me, actually the last live I did um kind of touched on what I'm about to say. Um, it's you. You feel what I'm saying? That was the title of it. That's what it was talking about. Everything is it's you personally. Like everybody has their own destiny and purpose. and um, and whatever tool, whatever whatever mindset, whatever adjustments, seeds, thinking, what have you, it's your life, your the things that you have or the things that you need are catered to your destiny. And so um for me, and this is no disrespect to you or to anyone else, like I don't believe any longer. I used to believe in certain things. And as I got older, it becomes more and more important for me to know. And so in me knowing that about myself and about my soul and about my mind, about my destiny, about my purpose, about my intellect, I have to know. Um, and then it goes a step beyond that. For me, it's a frequency, right? And so um, I move in a frequency. I move in an energy that resonates with my soul. And so, you know, because I know, right, that not everything was put in one book, right? I also know that there were other books that were purposely taken out. So now I have to do my own research. I have to do my own soul search. I have to do my own study. You know, the scriptures say, study to show yourself approved, rightly dividing the word of truth, right? And so, well, in order to do that, you got to have all of the word, not just some of it. You feel what I'm saying? You can't, what's up? What's up? What's up? Why not? And so, you can't, I can't allow myself to pick and choose where um what's been given to me. I gotta search out what I need for me. And so there's a scripture in the book of Thomas that says, if you say that heaven is in the sky, then the birds will precede you. If you say that heaven is in the sea, then the fish will precede you, right? But it says, but rather what you should do is look inside of you, right? Because that's where heaven is. That's where God is. Right. I see you Yeti in over on YouTube. So some of my Instagram people jump to YouTube. It's funny, but yeah. So um I don't discredit anyone's um anyone's belief or anyone else's knowing, right? I can only take on me. Can only be responsible for me. I can't be responsible for anyone else. And that part kind of goes back to the title of the night is Fantasy Island. You know, a lot of people live off of fantasy and what they desire to happen, right? But what's the reality? You know what I'm saying? If this happens and that, the reality is what actually happens, not what we want to conjure up or what we put in our mind or expectations of how other people should or shouldn't move or should and shouldn't say. I can't dictate that. That's a factor of life. I can't bank on how other people move. I can only bank on and control how I move. You know what I mean? So I
Well,
hope that kind of explains or uh, answers your question.
brother, I really appreciate your answer. And you're right. Creation alone is too big for it not to be personal to each person, you know, scenario by scenario or what have you, life by life, whatever, experiences, all this stuff. And that's what I try to tell people that say they believe in Jesus. When I tell them, I say, you know, I can't speak for you, but I can only speak on what God has given me and what I believe to be true about what God gave me. And if you don't believe that, I'm not going to be mad at you because at the end of the day, I could be wrong. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
God said that my thoughts are not your thoughts and my ways are not your ways.
Mhm.
So, you know, that's just like, for instance, like Chupacabra or, you know, let's say Krampus and all this other stuff throughout history, Zeus and Thor, all of them. I don't tell people what can't exist because in order to be an expert on what doesn't exist, you have to be an expert on everything that does. And I don't believe that we know. I mean, if we did, we wouldn't find new species every day. So I tell people, you know, I'm not going to say that those gods aren't real, but I tell them that what I believe God gave me, like, you might misunderstand what they actually are. Because I do, like you're talking about books taken out of the Bible and stuff. Enoch is one of those books. And Jesus quoted Enoch, and so did the apostles.
Mhm.
And Enoch, you learn that the fallen angels had children and they became old men of renown and all this stuff. And, you
Mhm.
know, that's like what Zeus does. You know, Zeus was a god. He had children with women, birds, and all these things. But you know, what I'm saying is that there's so many hateful people out there that say it's my way or else, or you know, that's impossible or whatever. But the Bible's very clear and it says all things are possible with God. It doesn't say some things. So, you know,
Mhm.
there's a lot of closed mindedness, but that's because, like you said, it's their own desires and lusts, or maybe their own imaginations, or what they want to be. You know, like for instance, I hear a lot of people talk about when I die and I'm going to go to heaven and see my family and all this stuff. And if you believe that, that's fine. But to me, when I read the Bible, you know, we're not going to be male or female. We're not, you know, I mean, so, you know, you're not going to go and see your grandma that's 90 years old, you know, because your grandma that's 90 years old has passed away. If she's with God, she's not a woman or a man, and she's not even human. She's a spirit. It wouldn't even be the same as when you knew her. But if you choose to believe that when you go and pass away and everything, you're gonna be reunited to family, I'm not gonna hate on you, disrespect you or anything, because you're entitled to believe whatever you want. Only a person that's very abusive tries to beat somebody over the head and make them see things their way. But I'm confident enough in the truth that God gave me where I can say, hey, you know, God gave me this and I want to tell you. And if you don't believe it, then, you know, oh well. I mean, that would be very disingenuous and cruel for me to try to make you see the world through my perspective if you don't want to.
Absolutely. But and here's the thing. It's almost what's up, man? It's really impossible for me to see through somebody see the world through somebody else's perspective. To a degree I can, but not in whole or in part, because in order to do that, I would have to literally be that person. I would
Yeah,
have to
absolutely.
literally have walked in their shoes from the time they hit the planet. I'm talking about from the time of conception until now. Like people don't really understand that. So you get upset with people not knowing their journey, not knowing what they've been through, what they're gone through, what they're going through. You don't
Well,
know that. You feel what I'm
and
saying? Go ahead.
this
What
is
was you gonna
also a thing. I was going to say that if, let's say that you have a Christian, right? And a Satanist comes up and he's like, here's the Satan. Sorry, it's a bunch of traffic. But let's say a Satanist walks up to a Christian and the Satanist says, oh, you know, these are the 10 commandments of Satanism. And this is how everything is. And now see my way. And if you don't, then I'm going to beat you up or whatever, you know. I mean, nobody likes to be told what to do or else. I mean, that's just, you know, I mean, that's really an abusive person that says that. Like all the older generations, I hear them say, kids should be meant to be seen and not heard. That's abuse, because if you're not willing to actually like put up with the person, good and bad, and not shut them down or whatever, maybe hear them out. You don't have to agree with the person, obviously, because, you know, we're people at the end of the day, and it's not like we know everything. So we can all be wrong in some aspects, one way or another. So you don't have to agree with what a person is, but it's also very cold hearted and disingenuous just to shut somebody down just because you don't agree with them, or, you know, you don't understand, or what have you. And the lack of communication has really caused a degradation in our society. I mean, you see the way people are. I mean, I can't even go outside and drive down the road and make a right turn without somebody, in another car across the street or something, like smacking their steel wheel and throwing their hands in the air and stuff, mad or whatever. People are just seething mad all the time. And I know that takes a toll. I mean, I know it does. My dad, growing up, he would brag about how his anger was his strength, and he would talk about like how he was like similar to Incredible Hulk, I guess. I don't mean for it to sound cheesy or anything, but he would talk about when he gets mad and he gets superhuman strength and all these things or whatever. And I watched
Mhm.
how to this day he's still kind of like that. But my dad's 50. Well, let's say 49. And he looks like he's like, 60 because of how much the anger and all this stuff has aged him.
Mhm. That's what's up, man. Yeah, that's I tell people that too, man. You gotta be careful, man, how you let um anger and grief and pain and things of that nature. Like I suffered from that for a while, so I know the effects of it. Right. And so yeah, you can't hold on to that shit, man. You gotta let that shit go.
Yeah,
Um
no. It's weird to me, and it's crazy because it's like proven facts to people that like depression or anger or whatever, anxiety, can literally affect your physical body, right? So if these emotions can cause your physical body to be affected in a negative way, something that's positive only affects you positively, right? And when you think about where these emotions might come from, they're like spontaneous or whatever. And then whenever somebody cools down, calms down or whatever, then they'll be open to reason or talk or apologize or whatever. But in that moment, when that anger or whatever hits them, you know, people don't question where these feelings come from. They just say they exist and they're normal or whatever. But, if I'm sitting here and I don't know, I'm just talking to one of my friends or something, right? And all of a sudden, and this is just an example, but all of a sudden something inside my head just says hit him, hit him, like just rear back and hit him. And I'm like, where did that come from or something? That's the type of things that happen to people. This is that everybody has like a thought that comes in their head and like, where did that come from? And random moments. And so if you have thoughts and things that just come and suggest things that you don't even necessarily ever think about or whatever, you know, I feel like the better thing people can do instead of taking medicine for these things, which I'm not saying that medicine is a bad thing either, because for a worldly person, medicine is a good thing because worldly answers and worldly solutions pertain to the world. They don't pertain to spiritual things. So, you know, uh, I feel like the better thing for not everybody, obviously, because Jesus himself said that basically count the costs, before you decide to follow him. And a lot of people in Christianity, nobody in Christianity tells you that Jesus said to count the costs, because what man would go and make war with another city, not knowing if he had, you know, X amount of people. But yeah, everything's spiritual in nature to me because I see like human history and I see how things are now. Like for instance, if this was like not spiritual in nature, then and it was like scientific or whatever, we would have evolved past the problems that we've had from the beginning of time. So like, 200 BCE, there was a governor or uh, something like that was greedy and corrupted, and maybe he stole a bunch of gold or whatever. But you fast forward to today, and you got politicians and governors that embezzle money. I mean, it's the same thing. They did thousands of years ago. Societies have always been set up kind of the same. You got, people that are like the figurehead of societies, and then you got all the people that live under them. And so I don't see how, we've lived for so long, but we're pretty much the exact same as we was thousands of years ago. The only difference is that we've got like new toys and things to play with and tinker with, or electricity and all this stuff.
Yeah, here's the other thing about that. And the scriptures say there's absolutely nothing new under the sun. So the things that we have now, we've had before, to some degree. You feel what I'm saying? So it's nothing new under the sun. I got Monarch on Instagram. What's up, baby? What it do? How the fans?
I put my kids to sleep, so they loud for me tonight.
Oh, I already know you got a house full over that junk. I know you got a house full. What's good with you? Tell my man what's up. He at work or he in there with you?
He right there. He's cleaning up. I got the baby, so.
I got you. Hey, tell him I said what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still with that.
Man, my man. Good dude, bitch.
Yeah. I wanted to just touch in on that subject that he's speaking on. Just a little bit, not too much. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just saying a lot of stuff in the Bible and regarding Jesus, a lot of the stuff that he pointed to, he was pointing people toward themselves the entire time from the very beginning of the Bible. Even when he was 12 and he was going in and read the scriptures that he was reading were the scriptures that was telling people, in Isaiah, like, didn't I say you're gods? Mm-hmm. So from the very beginning, it always told the truth. It was just whether people wanted to look at it or not. And of course, like you say, everybody's not going to have the same point of view. But the reality is that in the Bible, the truth is that he did point everybody to himself, to themselves, and that, basically, it doesn't really matter if you read Genesis, or not from Genesis, but the Old Testament or the New Testament. If you read the books that were taken out, at the end of the day, it all points you back to yourself. So, and it's like, if the kingdom of heaven is within you, if you are God, if God makes you in your image, all these things that the Bible says within itself, and then in Revelations, they say heaven comes to earth. I mean, let's make sense, of the things that we are reading. And I don't mean this in harm when I say that, but, when making sense of the things that we're reading, we got to understand that what is being read to us, being saying that's like a pastor or a preacher, is not going to be the same message to if you read it yourself. And that's why Jesus would go into the wilderness by himself. And he wasn't going to churches. He wasn't going to, what do they call them? I ain't been to church in so long, so I don't remember.
Mosque, temple. Yeah.
Any of those things. He went by himself. He would be out there for a month by himself. And, he was, I'm pretty sure he wasn't praying the whole entire time. It says he was praying the whole entire time, but he had to come to Revelations because even in one chapter, he's talking to the devil. So how is he praying the entire time? You know what I'm saying? So it's just so many points that kind of relate to those things that people have to assess. But, that's my stance.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that part up. Like, Jesus only went to the temple 2 times. right? The first time he went, he was a child, of course, so he wasn't even. He was taken to the temple, and they went to circumcise him, and they say I forgot. I think it was a man by the name of Simeon. He came running into the temple and took Jesus. Said, "No, you can't. He can't be circumcised. He's not like everybody else. He's not going to be indoctrinated. This child is not to be indoctrinated into the religion." Right. That was the first time. The next time he goes to the temple, people were selling shit in there, and he tore that motherfucker up. So, like, to your point, he never pushed people to go to church or pushed people to go to the temple. Um, that, like you said, even the scriptures, everything points back to inside. Even, I forget what the scripture is where it says, in the last days, I will no longer write my laws like in a tablet, but I'll write my laws on the hearts of men. And so
Well,
that
sorry.
points back to you. God can't write on your heart if your heart ain't pure. Because the Bible also says, blessed are the pure in heart, because they will see God. And so even having your heart right, like, and I've been talking about this. This has been in my spirit, in my meditation. I've been really pointing people back to themselves. Like, stop looking outside of yourself. If you can't be a child of God and not be a God yourself. You can't be a child of something and not be that thing. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If a male and a female bear have a cub, it can't not be a bear. You know what I'm saying? When they grow
Well,
up.
I haven't actually been to a church myself in some years because when you read the Bible, it says that the ecclesia, the body, the body is the people are the church, right? Not a building. And Jesus, like y'all were saying, Jesus said, "Know ye not that ye are the temple of God," right? And that's why he compared those Pharisees to appear outwardly as whited sepulchres, but inwardly they were filled with dead man's bones. So the whole thing is, it's just like a lot of mamas have told children for years. You point a finger at somebody, you got three pointing back, because your life is too short for you to worry about what somebody else is doing wrong. Everybody does wrong, sure, but I'm a white guy, and nobody walks up to me and says, "Hey, Michael, you're white," because that's redundant. That would be like me seeing a thief and saying, "Hey, you're a thief," or a liar and be like, "Hey, you're a liar." But really, that's wasted breath, because obviously everybody knows that. So why am I going out and saying and accusing people of what they're doing, even justifiable? Because when you read the Bible, it says that Satan is the accuser of the brethren, right? So an example is like when Michael the archangel and Satan were disputing the body of Moses. Michael the archangel did not say to Satan, "Get out of here, you dirty, no good, whatever." He didn't say, "Oh, you're the king of liars, get out my face." None of that. He didn't have one railing accusation against him, is what the Bible says. It says that his only response is that the Lord rebuke you. Now, when you hear people pray and say, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," right? Yes, you may be the temple of God and God may be in you, but really at the end of the day, you're just a clay pot waiting to just go back to being clay again and dust, right? So really, you don't have any significance whatsoever. Not that you're not special in your own way or whatever, but in the grand scheme of things, throughout all the thousands of years people have been on the planet,
For everybody,
right? But
in a sense
um,
that, there's, if you can even go in further than that, that wouldn't necessarily be true, because at the end of the time, why would he go back and get people that were already dead?
What was it?
Say that again, Ron.
At the end of time, why would he go back and get people that's already dead? And they're supposed to be the first ones to kind of contradict that point.
Oh, you talking about the first will be last and the last will be first or some shit like when they say like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that
that's
part, like I guess today I'm chilling because I like this wasn't the direction I was going there to kind of be talking about the Bible, right? Tonight was really more so about getting people to live in their truth, live in their reality. And fantasy world is cool. It's cool to dream. It's cool to have a fantasy, but don't be so deep into your fantasy that you lose touch with reality. I guess since we kind of got the Bible kind of piece in here tonight, the Bible even says, "Don't be so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good." You feel what I'm
yeah.
saying? And
Mhm.
so, um, you know, I don't have a problem with talking, you know, about the Bible, the Quran, or whatever the case may be. No, none of that bothers me. Um, but I also know that I can't lose touch with reality. What is my reality? For me, my reality is this. Um, to my knowledge, I got
I know.
I'm in this present moment to live my life, and I can't
I
live it
know.
on. Oh, let me get my point. So I'm here in my reality and to live my life according to what's going to be beneficial to my purpose and my destiny, right? And I can't allow or won't allow anybody's influence, thoughts, or ways to dictate how I move in this lifetime. Do I think I've lived other lives before? Absolutely. Do I think I do I think I'll live again in some way, shape, form, or fashion? Sure, why not? Why throw that out the vote? I'll take that one too. But I'm not going to hold that. I'm not going to hold my future, nor am I going to hold my past in this moment above my right now. You feel what I'm saying? My right
I
now is
respect
saying
that.
for me, you know what I'm saying? My right now for me is to live in my moment, live my truth. You know what I'm saying? And I don't owe anyone explanation of how I'm moving. You feel what I'm saying?
I
So
respect that. And like I said, when it comes to the Christian community, there's a lot of lack of understanding because a disagreement is just that. You just disagree. Oh well, whatever. Doesn't matter. Just be true to who you are. And I actually got to go in a second, but like you were saying, how can someone live in a day that's already went and passed? And how can someone live in tomorrow when it don't exist yet? You know, so
hmm
you need to live right now, moment by moment, and just you know be thankful for what you've been given, and you know, uh, remember it can always be much worse. I mean, look at the suffering going on in the world and stuff, but right now, as things manifest out in the open for anyone to see them, that's what's real, and that's what really happened. So, just stay true to day by day, and don't be so consumed with fear of what's coming or, regret of what's happened, and just try to, you know, do the best you can day by day. Like I said, not everybody will believe in Jesus or accept him. And to anybody that don't, I say, I don't have a problem with you, because Jesus's gospel, last time I checked, was his gospel. It's not Michael's gospel. So if you deny anything from that or whatever, you're not denying me. You're denying the gospel of Jesus. And then how it's his gospel, he's the one that wrote it and he's the expert on it, and I'm not. I'm just wise to be a student. But with all that, I do want to say that, for what it's worth to you and to everyone here, that I love you all. I really do. And I wish you well in Christ. And I'm going to go ahead and leave.
I appreciate you, Michael, man. Thanks a lot for coming up. Always good to rap to you, brother. Yeah. Well, that was my brother Michael. That was the second time I do remember he came up before. So always good perspective, man. So, but you know what I appreciate about him? He actually comes up. Like, he actually come up. I be trying to get y'all to come up here, man. And some of y'all to come up like Monarch come up. But I really, like I told y'all, like on some real shit, like this ain't about me. Like I'm not I ain't, I'm not trying for likes and all that type of shit. I literally come on here because, and I would venture to, I would be honestly, I think it's probably less than 10 people that really want me to go live, to be honest with you. And that's why I go live. It ain't like, I ain't going live because 1,000 people follow. I got all these people follow me on Instagram, right? But it ain't, you Levita, stop, bro. Y'all wild as shit. But like y'all, man, I don't know why I looked down at the damn comments. Y'all done made me lose my train of thought. But what I was saying was I can't even. I'm about to turn the comments off for a second because y'all retarded. But I literally come on here for like a few select group of people because y'all not, we not geographically close. I told y'all if ever come a day where the people that really asked me to go live and man do soul talking it, if y'all ever move close or we ever got close, yeah, like I wouldn't even go live. You know what I mean? Nah, I definitely want your ass to come up here. Zurich, why not? Nigga, you done been to my house on several occasions. Like, why would I want you to come up here? I don't listen. What I'm telling y'all though, like on some real shit, and this is what I was getting ready to say before y'all got to tripping in them comments. Like I let me take this pen off. I exert a lot of energy in real life. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with people in my community, dealing with families in my community. You know what I'm saying? And so like sometimes a lot of times like I need y'all energy, like y'all need soul talk. I need y'all energy to be up here. Cause if it was up to me, I'd be naked in my motherfucking house somewhere, laid out, letting the air hit me and just looking up and relaxing. I wouldn't even be on here. Like that's just some real shit. Like I will be find me a spot in this house and stretch the fuck out. You know? So yeah, like I need y'all to bring y'all ass up here sometime, man. Cause and it don't feel like it, but shit, you done been on here a little over an hour. already. And I'm like, but it kind of went by because it was other people came up. Monarch came up. Man, I forget his name that fast. Michael. Michael came up, you know. So yeah.
See, I didn't want to say too much in that last convo because I didn't want to be rude, but you know, he kept pressing, and I was like, I don't know if you're getting the point, sir.
Well,
Yes, I don't know. Then ends it with, like they said, Christ be with you, sir. You just said all the other Christians press on, and you won't disagree, and you're gonna go about your day, and you kept pressing. It was giving them other Christians. It was giving the crusade a little bit. I'm just saying. I was like, "What's going on here, sir?" I thought we was making progress with the conversation, and he kept reverting back. I was like, "I'm gonna just leave it alone. I'm gonna let you say your piece. I'm gonna be quiet and I mute myself."
but here's the thing, like, and see, like today I was like some days I'm sharp. Some days I'm in attack mode, right? Other days, you know, I'm in wisdom mode. Today I'm in wisdom mode. I put my sword up today. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, I'm to the point now where like can't nobody put shit on me. Like I done been through so much shit in my life. Like even trying to intentionally hurt me, I'll probably bust out laughing at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if I tell you some of the shit that I done been through, like, you know, see, I give real. I can go from hey, Unc laughing and joking to some real dark shit and make you want to really get the fuck out of here. You feel what I'm saying? Like, see, I'm laughing, but I'm also dead ass serious. Like, nigga, my youngest child is in a box in my living room. Y'all, I ain't the one to really play with. You feel what I'm saying? His brother, 100%. His brother will be here in a month. But far as birth wise, my youngest child has been cremated and is in a box in my living room, and I gotta live with that shit. So can't nobody really push energy on me because you know, I got questions. Can't nobody fucking answer. I got stories. Can't nobody like say you can't say I feel you. That don't translate. Oh man, I feel you. No the fuck you don't. If you haven't kissed your mother while she was in a casket, leave me the fuck alone.
Thanks.
You feel what I mean? So yeah, see when I go there, like you know what I mean? So
I mean, I never experienced this. I couldn't even to preach to somebody about what to do in their life. I've never experienced it.
you hear me? And I don't like saying that because I don't like. Well, it's not that I don't like saying it. I know there's some people who still had a mother and father. So, you know, I don't, you know, I ain't the one to be like, man, your day coming. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't that fucked up. But
I mean, it's not a lie.
it ain't. But see now, here's the reality. Who's to say you gonna outlive them? Not talking about you, but I'm just saying, period. We don't know how this shit falls because my brother only daughter preceded him. You feel what I'm saying? My niece ain't here.
My best friend died before both of her parents, and seeing a parent have to bury their child, even the parents having to bury their child is terrible. Just like children have to bury their parents.
It's different. It's and so nobody knows how this goes. Is what I'm saying to you. You don't. So because you don't know the order of shit, man. Listen, that's why I say to have expectations of somebody for your fantasy is insane, because you don't know what else that person is still going through on a day-to-day basis just to maintain their mindset. And then you put expectations on them for your fantasy. Well, that's not reality. It's not reality. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this shit tough as shit.
I have no words. Like I said, I don't even, when I haven't experienced something, I'm not one to speak on something I don't know. Because I can only say I have, like you said, you can't put yourself in, the only way you would know is if you were the person themselves or walked exactly in their shoes from conception. And I 100% agree, because having sympathy or empathy for someone is a whole nother thing than living the actual story. And you can only express to somebody bits of your story, but no one can know your full story.
Right. So, and Lavita Alizé Jenkins and Chica, I sent both of y'all request to come up here. Y'all scared ass. Y'all get on my nerves. I just want y'all to know that.
All they gotta do is come up with the screen off.
Yeah, right. See what I'm saying? I don't even say nothing about that no more. You come up with your camera on. Because I don't even say nothing no more. I used to be like, nah, turn your camera on. I don't even say nothing about that shit no more. I'm like, man, just come up, man, and fellowship with a motherfucker. But see,
I'm the camera police. I hope not.
Who, me? Nah.
Yeah,
I used to. Yeah, I used to, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, she
said what?
She said she ushered in the comments.
I'm gonna usher your ass out. Right. Lavita, you really gonna make me put my hands on you? I promise you. Really gonna make me put my hands on you.
I gotta put this baby to sleep, so I gotta leave. I don't want to leave you up here by yourself.
Nah, you good. Nah, go ahead. Nah, you get Sabo. Come on. Zuri up here.
Somebody came up here.
Yeah, Zuri came up.
See me, I'm in the dark.
Yeah, she drive. You driving?
No, not yet.
Oh.
We're about to get on the road. So
Tonight?
Get on the road.
Y'all getting on? What time y'all get on the road?
Well, we had the Airbnb. We're in the toilet, in the sink, and the tub, and everything started flooding. So we had, yeah, right. I thought, but look, my cousin, she's in the shower. Shit starts swishing. I think, girl, there's a goddamn gator in motherfucker. We're in Florida. Yeah, so we had to call the owner, and he's like, yeah, go ahead, because you got to call a plumber. So, yeah, but I'm on the backyard, so that's where I am now, because she's in there waiting for clothes to dry, packing and shit. So I'm chilling out here before we got to leave.
God damn. That's crazy. I know they ain't give you. Y'all got to get some type of refund, right?
Yeah, he is.
Damn. That's crazy. This all the plumbing backed up is crazy.
Yeah. That shit was coming out of everywhere. I was like, God damn, what the fuck? Yeah.
That's wild as shit. Dang. So y'all rented something?
Yeah, just because they're dropping their son off at college.
Oh, okay.
She just made kind of a small vacation out of it, so.
That was smart.
Yeah.
That was smart as shit. Yeah, I really need to go on a motherfucking vacation, but can't.
I
I got to sit still. Yeah, I got. Man, listen, I probably got about 9 motherfuckers I'm gonna call when that shit go down. Yeah, man, you one of them. Like, look at, hey, pull up.
Come on, it's going down.
Yeah, pull the fuck up.
I'm excited.
Yeah, man, I don't even see. I guess I'm excited, but I ain't like, my excitement don't look like, again, so the expectations. Like, like, I know she like, well, you don't seem like you excited, and my shit gonna be different. I got other shit to think about. You know what I'm saying? Like, this need to be a joyous and the experience of a lifetime for you. For me, I'm adding another motherfucker I got to take care of, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that in a negative light. I'm saying that's the fucking reality. You feel what I'm saying? The reality is, hey man, got one more motherfucking mouth to feed, Holmes. We gotta put some shit in place. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so. I gotta put some shit in place, Holmes. Like, it ain't, I ain't, like it ain't over here like I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying, look, I'm like, all right, well, I need to do this, I need to do that, get this together. Now that I'm sitting here thinking, look, just because we started talking about the shit, I forgot I'm supposed to be looking up a birthing pool. You feel what I'm saying? Okay. Right, Monarch. Listen, and listen, man. I tell people all the time, like, my best friends are my sons, my 2 oldest boys. Yeah, that's who if I'm hanging with somebody, it's them. You know what I'm saying? So, right. Well, that's who I'm staying with in Maryland with my daughter. So yeah, same right. Here. Exactly. Did you ever find out? Was you able to push the thing back, your move back that you was doing? Yep. Yeah, I forgot about it. I'm delivering a baby. Oh, okay. What'd she say? She's like, well, congratulations. Right. Right. How exciting. Yeah, it really is, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So, yeah, man. I just wondered. I said I was going to come on here. I know I missed Thursday night, but I came on Wednesday night. Man, Thursday, man. But you on for like one a day for a hot second. I went like, dang, you just went off. Just missed you. Yeah, that was probably Wednesday. Cause I jumped on for a second. And but man, I don't even, like, I'm not physically tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't physically out of breath or no shit. Mentally though, I am done. You know what I'm saying? Like, mentally. Just, it's one thing to be a Gemini always in your head. And it's another thing, the reality of fuck the Gemini shit. The reality is I'm a big part of the machine when it comes to my full-time job and then also maintaining and running my other 2 businesses, all while trying to start 2 new businesses. You feel what I'm saying? So ain't no trying to start in the middle of starting a whole nother career, and then take the money from that and translate to a whole nother career. So, like, that's what I got going on. So it ain't like, you need to do another live on that, because that's what my cousin and her husband are going through right now, and it's something going on with our generation. Because I want to ask you, kind of like, where are your older children in that? Like, and do you even want their help? Like, are they just like, he's gonna do whatever he wants to do, or dad's need to retire, or are they trying to help you, or they just doing their own thing? Because I'm noticing a pattern with our generation and our kids. So say that again. Say that one more. Break that down one more.
So at your age, for even I'm 56, so not really at retirement age, but say if I had my own business, right now I'm not trying to. Okay, I've had a business all this time, and now I want to shut it down because I'm getting older and go somewhere and start a whole new, even bigger business. If anything, I would think like our parents had a business and they kind of got us involved. So now they retired. Now we're running their business. What I'm noticing is our kids don't want to have shit to do with what we got going on. Like they're like, no, I want to, be a entertainment or whatever, or I'm a doctor. They want to do business, or I'm a lawyer. They want to become a nurse, or something completely different. They're not trying to work in the family business. They're not trying to help with the family business. They're like, at this point, you're old. You just need to retire, sell everything, and so I can get some extra money and we can put you in a home.
So for me,
So
like,
are your sons? Is that like their sentiment, or are they trying to help? Are they helping you with your business? Because you say you have
no,
one or about to start two. Are they going to be involved in it?
no, because they got their own shit. Like I ain't even, yeah, I don't. That ain't even like a thought for me. Like I don't. I don't have, see, here's again. So it actually ties right into what we're talking about. Fantasy would be, oh, other people help or my children help. That's fantasy though.
Right.
The reality is they got their own dreams. They got their own aspirations. They got their own gifts and talents and different things of that nature. So I wouldn't put that on them to say, hey, I want you to run the family business. No, I'm putting some shit in place so that you all have some finances when I leave. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all ain't gonna cry but for a little while when I'm gone. Okay. Because I'm gonna leave you something that you shouldn't be fucking crying about. You see what I'm saying? So that mentality, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you got that going on, you know, as a man, man, listen, I got other shit going on. I don't have time to, I don't really have time to be in that fantasy world, that fantasy mode. Right. So. Okay. Well, I just got the call. They're putting everything in the car, so that's my little 2 cents. Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm about. Oh, listen, we was on the back end of this shit anyway. So I appreciate you for coming up here, man. We'll chop it up next week. Let me know when you get back on our end. Definitely will. All right, bet. All right, peace. Peace. Yeah, y'all, man. Look, man, I really appreciate y'all tapping in and chiming in and being in the comments and everything. I've been on here an hour and a half. I have done what dude tell Mel Gibson in the movie Conspiracy Theory. He told Mel Gibson, I have gone as far as I'm prepared to go. I'm gonna catch the rest of this shit on CNN. As far as Soul Talk tonight, I've gone as far as I'm prepared to go. I'll catch y'all later on in the week, next week, man. Y'all enjoy y'all day, rest of y'all evening, and we'll get up, we'll talk, man. Y'all already know, man. How do I want to end it today? Let me see. Get up, you ain't dead. It is a revolution. Evolve. Relove you. And always, always let your love be stronger than hate. I'm out.